What is up, everybody? It's Verse TV here today, and we're going to talk about these Sony fanboys defending Sony's decision not to make the PlayStation Plus service a lot better to compete with Game Pass. So this new crazy take is that Sony is pretty much like an indie studio, a mom and pop store. They're not this big major corporation as well as right along with Microsoft. So this guy makes this crazy take right here, Sam. Imagine if Elon Musk opened a bakery store next to yours and gives people as much bread as they want for $10 a month. Tells you this is the future of baking, then your customers turn to you and ask why aren't you doing the same thing? This is how Microsoft is trying to F Sony. Like, what are we doing here? It's like, I didn't know. For a company that's they claim to be in first place, it's like they can't. They're struggling. They're now a mom and pop type of situation, or a startup company. It's just fascinating. It's really fascinating. They don't have to try to compete. They don't have to try whatsoever. But their fan base would just eat it up and ask you, why are you complaining about it? Why are you complaining about them not trying to compete with Microsoft's Game Pass service? But so people start making jokes. We should really start a GoFundMe for Sony to seem to be hurting for money. My sympathies. Then I think David Jaffe even made. I don't know if he was responding directly to this, but I guess like to the notion that Sony is broke now. He says, "Think about starting a GoFundMe account for Sony if anyone wants to contribute. I'm hearing they don't have enough money to compete, and I'm worried about them." Yeah. It makes no sense. It's like if you get to the point where I think people should start making a GoFundMe for Sony now, since obviously they don't have enough money to compete with Microsoft, is what people are saying pretty much. So then he says it's not me ripping Sony, but certain Sony fans. Most likely, it was probably this guy who he's making fun of with this tweet like this. Then he responds to this and says, "Were you not around during the Sony's broke joke cycle? With people pointing out how divisions were closed, employees let go, buildings being sold, etc. Now all of a sudden everybody has a business degree and knows PlayStation can still fund $200 million games and dump them in PS Plus day one. Sony needs our help. They simply cannot afford to put games on a subscription service. They are being forced to sell games at $70. It's so sad." You got Mr. Krabs playing a small violin. Let's see. I wonder why I've never seen these kind of takes from Nintendo that are using the same strategy as Sony. All of a sudden, everyone is an armchair CEO that knows how to run a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate and is giving Sony financial advice. Well, the direct competition is Microsoft, and it's pretty obvious. The big elephant in the room when you see compared to services. There's somebody paying almost similar prices for both services compared to Game Pass and like PlayStation Plus. Whether it's like the highest tier or the medium tier, you're pretty much paying the same prices. And it's like Game Pass is so much better, so it's like it should at least be somewhat equivalent to it. But I don't know, maybe just asking for too much. I guess that's asking for too much. Is it wrong to think the creators of these amazing games that literally take years to make probably just want as many people to experience them as possible, or am I just crazy? So Sean Layden is a fanboy. Tell me how you continue to make $150 to $200 million games and up the frequency of them while putting them on a service for $1, or you can get for a taco and Pop-Tart. Okay. If Disney can afford to lose billions on subscription services, so can Sony. I'll throw in 5. Okay, some of these comments are just ridiculous now at this point. Like, they're not even making sense. Okay. LMAO, poor old Sony. Imagine having to pay for an optional luxury item. Let's donate some money to Walmart next, since they don't have enough money to give away for free food. Let's see some of the quote tweets. Some of these comments are kind of whack. Let's look at some of the quote tweets. Got loads. Jaffe, Sony does have the capital to make a non-preferable leech of an effort business venture. You think they should throw away everything they have built up? That would be very dumb business. Xbox had nothing to lose to try a model that's still improving to work. Come on. That's a bad take. And it seems to be working so far for Xbox. I mean, their model seems to be working pretty great so far. So I know he's talking about there. Javi's, especially Netflix as well. Netflix does the same thing. Their big movies are on their service. It's not like their movies are in theaters first and they put it to their service later. Their big movies are in the service. And same like HBO Max as well too. So seems to be working out just fine for the movie industry as well too. So Jaffe says to stop letting Sony suck. Pretty bad when a Sony legend speaks up. Yeah, because their attempt at doing a subscription service, well, I guess their competition at Game Pass is very lackluster. That's very lackluster what they're doing right now. Red David W. I don't agree with Jaffe much, but this is golden. Let's see. What is this? Meanwhile, in reality, Microsoft VP confirms Xbox hardware business loses money. Okay, we didn't already know that. They're not making money on the consoles, but they're making money on the subscription services. That's old news, but I don't even know. Why would that even be brought up? That makes no sense. Why would you even bring it up? Okay. Give Sony $20 billion, give my family $100 billion. Hard decision. The man who created God of War is trashing Sony. Yeah, because these people act like Sony is a mom and pop operation, like they can't compete with Microsoft. It's just funny. When they're supposed to be number one in gaming right now. It's just fascinating how people just make up these stupid comparisons and say how Sony don't need to compete with Microsoft. It's just ridiculous. Sony isn't a small mom and pop bakery. They're in the billion-dollar game. Sony picked their strategy and Microsoft went with theirs. We have three giant companies doing each their own thing, so saying that Microsoft is screwing at Sony makes no sense. It's capitalism which has treated Sony well. Not only is Sony not a victim in this as a multi-billion-dollar company, your analogy doesn't even make sense. Software like video games are not consumable. It would be like if they sold you access to a bunch of different flavors of bread that last forever and cost them. It's a business, Jan. Just like Sony paying devs to keep games off Xbox. Yeah. I mean, you would think instead of paying these companies to keep their games off Xbox, they can pay their games to put these games in subscription services. I mean, what are we doing here? I just spend all I want to keep the games off Xbox, so. Let's see. Yeah, it's just like Netflix after the blockbusters. It was the future of TV shows and movies. That's how competition is. Customers will always ask for the better deal and compare the rest to that. Yeah, true. Sony can't afford it, and they know their global fan base will buy anything. Brenton bread sounds terrible. Okay. That's one way to admit that you're crying that Sony doesn't care enough about their customers. Microsoft are using money that customers give them to add games to Game Pass. It's a circle that makes them money and gives their gamers content. Tell Bakery Sony to do better. Well, that's what people really pretty much want from this, is Sony to actually compete with Microsoft's Game Pass service. But their customers, their fan base, these Sony fanboys and fangirls don't want Sony to compete, which is fascinating. They don't want their service to be as great as Game Pass, but they're going to accept this mediocre service and call it a day. So, it's interesting. This guy says, I will literally beat the other bakery out by making better bread and starting sourdough pass for $8 a month. That's what I would do, since we talking about hypothetically. I have never seen people so concerned about a company before. Yeah, you would think these people, as consumers, care so much about making sure Sony gets paid their $70 for a video game. It's kind of just weird. It's very weird. Let's see. Facepalm, stop it, get some help. Give me the Elon Musk version, please. Poor Sony, let's all throw money at them with no thought to help them get through this. You mean like Sony charging the same for the paid online service and throwing in several free games a month? Sony is the one that started this. Xbox just took it way further. Yeah, they just made it a lot better. Their subscription service was just a lot better at the end of the day. LMFAO, Sony is poor. Imagine not wanting competition in the marketplace. Imagine thinking the industry has room for only one business model. You guys. This is capitalism. It's the responsibility of the companies to have tried to do the best they can, and it's up to the consumers to choose what best suits them in terms of quality and price. I think Elon Musk's bakery would do very well. Okay. And I love it. And also, Sony isn't some small bakery, LOL. The franchise bakery that bought the small towns bakery. I'm not going to shed any tears for Sony. Let's see. You missed a few details, though. Like, Elon Bakery is the one supplying you, and if he wants to F you over, he just stoy. You're doing the same, just offer S bread for more than $10. Welcome to capitalism. It's pretty much they got no sympathy for Sony. Like most people are saying, Sony should just compete with Microsoft. That's what they should do at the end of the day. This whole that Sony is a poor mom and pop company is just ridiculous. They want to say how Sony is beating everybody right now, but at the end, their service sucks. So definitely want to see your thoughts down below about this situation right here. Leave a like for this video. As always, thanks for watching, and peace.